Parental discretion is advised.
Hey guys, before we get started, having fun here with the Wrestling Mayhem Show, just wanted to put a little disclaimer on here. We definitely recorded this several hours before learning about the death of the Ultimate Warrior. At the moment here, late Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, confirmed by WWE.com, it seems, and of course Triple H's Twitter account. None more details at the moment, but just wanted to preface that with the insanity, the excitedness we had over the weekend of WrestleMania. So enjoy the show.
It's the best week in the world to be a wrestling fan. Want to know what we thought about WrestleMania and the Raw after and the Hall of Fame and whatever else comes up? Only one way to find out. Stick around.
Find yourself in the Beachview area of Pittsburgh? Check out the official pizza of this show, Slice on Broadway, sharing an abnormal obsession with pizza we can relate to. Check them out at sliceonbroadway.com and tell them this show sent you. Donate as little as $1 an episode to get your name in the show and access WMS Gold content. Check out our page at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show or click the link on our site. Want to have your business or podcast featured on the show? Contact us at info@sorgatronmedia.com. Subject line, advertising.
Wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time.
Hey guys, it is the Wrestling Mayhem Show 414. It's the Mayhem post the WrestleMania. And we're going to get into it. We have so much to talk about here with my cohorts, one of which is the Papa Lunchbox, reporting live from the Dungeon of Doom. How you doing, sir?
Hey, everybody. DJ Papa Lunchbox. Call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner, which I never really understood as a saying. It just seemed like something people said so they wouldn't have to sit quietly. Hi, everybody. I'm Lunchbox, and I proved my own points.
Also, coming at us from the other side of Pittsburgh, here is the Rizz.
I got the whole world in my hand. I got the whole world.
Also with us, not in a catatonic state, is Bobby F. J. Town.
Hi, everybody. I'm still alive from not the flooding, lack of flooding.
Oh, wonderful.
Insert flood joke here.
And also in studio with us, joining us for the first half, is Dudas. And she's doing a wave. She's doing a creepy wave thing for you guys on audio.
Hi, guys.
We'll have to just go in this shot and all do the wave at one time. And we'll do that later in the show. Of course, this is your Wrestling Mayhem Show. We're here every Tuesday night at live.sorgatronmedia.com around about 9 o'clock PM Eastern Time. Of course, you can find intro by Basic Sickness. Check out more of his stuff at basicsickness.com. You can check us out at wrestlingmayhemshow.com. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Spreaker, all kinds of different places in audio and video form. Stitcher as well. No, I said that one.
And Stitcher. We're on
Stitcher. You know we're on Stitcher. You can like us. You can star us. You can comment on us. Tell your friends about us, all kinds of things. And you can also drop us a line at that email address.
Good times.
Good times.
Good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. That was very disappointing.
That
was very disappointing.
I was early and everybody else was late.
Say it again.
All right.
One.
At that email address.
Good times!
At WrestlingMayhemShow.com. All right, we'll just edit that first one out. You can also drop us a line. Also, drop us a line of 412-206-WMS0 for the hotline. And you can also you can look at us at Patreon. Patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. There's a link over on our website, and you can join us just like the Wrestling Revolution has, who's been donating a couple bucks each week. And you'll get special WMS Gold exclusive content and hopefully some new stuff here as it comes. You get some benefits. You get some benefits if you give at least $1. Trying to help us out, trying to raise some money to try and improve the show. Keep it going so we can pay the bills around here a little bit. So let's get right into it the only way we know how, with the fan mail. And we got a whole bunch going on here. First off, we do have actually a couple from Alex Cars. So let's go ahead and get right into that. There's a website out there called the Ashes of Chikara.com he wants to tell us about. I've seen a little bit of this. Of course, there's been the Ashes videos and everything, and apparently they're doing something a little bigger. He tells us last year a web series debuted called Ashes, which documented the efforts of a wrestler named Icarus to put together the pieces of a wrestling promotion, Chikara, that fell apart after the pay-per-view. Never compromised. This series finally expanded to a feature-length movie called The Ashes of Chikara, premiering in Collegeville, PA on May 5th before its worldwide release on May 9th. I wanted to get opinions of both the Movie Minute and the Wrestling Mayhem Show, guys. Okay, we didn't get to the Movie Minute. We had a Captain America special. Sorry. About this. What do you think about what seems to be the most serious attempt to bring the world of pro wrestling to the big screen outside of something like The Wrestler? Would you be interested in more projects like this from wrestling or other different topics? And I've seen a little bit of the trailer. I didn't get too big into this. I was presuming this was more of an indie release. I'm still kind of presuming, for the most part, that's what this is. But I don't know. What do you guys think? As far as Chikara goes, something to bring wrestling to the masses. Does this look like something that I don't know, could get some more attention?
Yeah, anything.
I think it's possible. I think the shorts were really, really well done and really, really intriguing. And if the movie's done as well as the shorts, then I think it's got potential.
Mm-hmm. As far as like indies go, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I really just look at it like this is an indie working on this in the long run. They're putting a lot of production value into this, at least graphic wise and everything. I don't know how it's gonna come out in the wash, as we've been hearing about, other wrestling projects we've been hearing about recently, not really turning out as good as the trailers in editing and stuff. I'm not going to drop any names. But I mean, that's always a worry, especially if it's something that's not from a studio, not from something established. Is this something that will be, end up being something that the wide people that are used to their Captain Americas is going to be into? And a friend of the show, Kenny Pickett, other friends of the show with Chikara are actually involved with this. It looks, up front, it looks amazing. Whatever they're doing here, but again, it could be graphics. I'm really curious. I really like to see how this turns out.
It's Chikara. It's going to be somewhat entertaining, and people are going to flock to it because it's Chikara and it's a pro wrestling story.
Stan Bush is a part of this? Wait a minute. No, now I just turned everything around because I just saw Stan Bush as a name on this trailer. I'm in completely. For those who don't know, Stan Bush has guested on Mike Quackenbush's podcast before, the Grizzly Bear Egg Cafe, so they definitely have a connection with him, and that's awesome. I hope they do a rendition of The Touch. This needs to happen. All right, we got another one. Does anybody want to tackle the Mad Mike mail?
Why not?
All right, I'll do it if you're not excited about it.
Not everybody at once.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, I said I'll do it. Hey.
Do it, Rizz.
All right. Howdy, Mayhemers.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Hi,
I'm
Mike.
emailing in case I don't get home in time. Hey. I'm emailing in case I don't get home in time to join the second hour of the show. Okay. So Mania sure was awesome, wasn't it? I still think my favorite moment of last night and Mania was Cesaro because it was the most unexpected. I still don't know how I feel about Taker's loss. Heyman's promo last night definitely helped. But if we don't see Brock for a while, I almost feel like it was a bit of a waste. Nice to see all the NXT love last night, especially when the actual NXT product has been kind of lackluster the past couple weeks. I still wish Bray would have won last night, or at least got Cena to go berserk and get himself disqualified. Something that makes the story progress instead of LOL Cena wins.
All one word.
All one word. All one word, all capitalized. Last week's Impact was an interesting show, but man, do I never want to see a straight jacket match again with two guys who don't know how they work. I did like the finish of the world title match with Magnus telling Abyss to stand down.
Kind of on the side to the straight jacket. Watch the straight jacket cage match between Booker T and Scott Steiner.
I don't want to.
It was kind of. I don't think they got a straight jacket to fit Scott Steiner. Was the problem? So.
And he goes. He continues and finishes up. Well, in case I don't make it, I learned that Paul Heyman can manage a broom to a world title.
Mm-hmm.
With White Birthday Boy ending transmission.
Happy birthday.
There you go. Happy birthday! We brought you balloons.
Yeah.
Yay!
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 And he's not even here to celebrate.
Nope. Not even here to celebrate
Nope.
with the balloons.
Nope.
We have all these balloons and no birthday boy. Jeez.
What the fuck is that about?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, and we got one more, I believe. LB, you got this?
Yes.
Inhale.
Hey. It's me, it's the future past fan of the year at Big PPC. What a amazing WrestleMania week of programming on the WWE Network. The WWE Today shows were fun and enjoyable, and the Hall of Fame was epic. WrestleMania's most times has its ups and downs, but this year for sure. Triple H and Bryan was everything it needs to be. Great entrances with Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and other chick, don't remember her name, let's call her other smaller blonde chick. Yeah, great story told by the game and the GOAT or the greatest of all time. Get it! Anyways.
I got it.
Wish Wyatt would got win, but he got great entrance, memorable moments at Mania, live band, new pants and jacket, and was over as fuck. Cena retained his legacy, which means he strokes his cock later, or maybe Nikki does, in the castle. Ooh!
Wow.
Boom!
Whoa.
Oh dear.
Whoa.
Brock versus Undertaker was what it was. Obviously, Taker seemed like he was done. I didn't expect the streak to be broken, but if it had to be broken, it was broken by somebody that Undertaker wanted it to be broken by. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened.
True.
So let's give Brock Lesnar a chance. And I hope they don't blow it. Maybe we could see Taker there at Mania again. It was rumored that Taker wanted to be done in 2010 and wanted to drop the streak to Brock, but then Vince couldn't make it happen then, so it happened now. 21-1 doesn't sound as good as undefeated, but if I had my way, he would have given it to a younger guy who would have been around longer, but maybe Brock will. Bryan finally wins title. Yes. Quick raw thoughts. Fantastic crowd all night long. Alexander Rusev, Paige, Adam Rose, Bo Dallas. Oh my. Hope they have room for Sami Zayn. Cesaro and Swagger hoping to feud Cesaro Paul Hammond guy. Now we the people know more. Crazy? Question. What was your favorite moment of the past several days, WrestleMania or Raw or Hall of Fame moment?
Oh, wow.
Personally, it is very hard, but I have to say that Jake the Snake speech was
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Mm-hmm.
That is like at the very least in my top 5 moments. What about you, Sorg?
It was that Hall of Fame speech was if the wrestler actually got inducted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It broke my heart when he said I can't play anymore. I was like, oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like every moment was just like, oh. But then we got
Hashtag
the,
demons.
then we got to the best part. Mr. T talking about his mama.
and there was a mention on there, like, Rizz, was it you that was saying, like, you know, thinking back to watching Between the Ropes? Not
Yeah,
Between the Ropes,
like,
beyond the mat,
Mhm.
and everything that went on there.
The hell
I
is this
would
chocolate?
never have guessed that. I would never have guessed that Jake Roberts would be alive today
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
to be
Yeah.
inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Let alone
And they're
doing
talking
well.
legibly.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Not a train wreck. We're not doing this after he passed or anything like
Mhm.
that. It's fantastic.
Mhm.
And then
And the same can be said for, even though it was a little bit later on,
Mhm.
the E60 done by ESPN on Scott Hall.
Mhm. Mhm.
Again, I would never have guessed a year or two later him looking awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's go
I
back to
never
those
expected him
voicemails.
to look like he
Mhm.
$1 million, and he did.
What were you saying, Dutters?
Those voicemails he left DDP. Those heartbreak. Remember whenever he started talking about going into yoga again, he said, "This is Scott Hall," and it just, it broke your heart because he was just, you could tell he was slurring his words, and it just was so sad.
Mhm.
And then for him to come back and look like that, and
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, he would always pop up at the ICP shows, and it's just like, oh god, they're enabling the hell out of this guy,
Yeah.
And nobody helped when they booked Jake Roberts. He always looked like crap for ages, and it was just like that classic story, and it coming around like this was just fantastic for both those guys,
Mhm.
and what a night for DDP too to have this. They have helped two friends of his, and this is, by the way, if you haven't figured it out by now, if you haven't caught some of his interviews and stuff, this is going to be a documentary.
Oh yeah.
He's hired a documentarian when Jake came into the house, and if you notice, there's a bunch of videos that we were all laughing at the Flappy Birds a few days ago. All of them, DDP, Hall, and Roberts playing Flappy Birds. Go check that out. So I mean, you can tell there's a video team around, and they're taking all this stuff, and it's a great story, and I think it's going to be tremendous. We talked a little bit talking with Zach Gallen on the Indie Mayhem show last week about this very thing, leading up to the Hall of Fame, and it's great to see, these guys, Zach and a bunch of other guys are coming around.
Mhm.
You don't see guys today falling into that trap quite as much. It seems, at least we don't hear about it. Colt Cabana didn't leave and just turn to drugs. For instance, people don't disappear from TNA and turn to drugs and fall off the map. Everybody's what? No. What? You think it's somebody?
They just
Jeff
transform into Willow.
Oh yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
They just stick around and do drugs, so there's that too. So, but generally you don't. It's no longer the wrestling
don't
death
see that
watch.
anymore because of social media. 'Cause
Partially.
there are people out there that will get a hold of this and make you suffer.
Yeah.
And there's going to be people out there that know that we're not going to book this guy because he's a drug user and an abuser and everything in between.
But then again, there's enough bad bookers out there.
Oh yeah,
bad
there's
promoters
horrible
out
bookers.
there.
There's horrible people
Yeah.
people in this world that will only do it for the buck. But it's
Mhm.
not. It's just to the point where there are going to be people who will boycott it enough not to go.
True. Yeah.
And back in the 80s and 90s, you didn't have all that.
So we kind of fell off the question, but your moments from the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get back to that. Now we're all like crying.
Sorg, what was your moment from the weekend?
What was my favorite moment from the weekend? Oh my god, there was so much. I had to been Cesaro winning that
Yeah.
trophy in fantastic fashion.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of like, you saw that earlier with how the pre-show match came, and he turned on Swagger, and that severed, and followed up by the Heyman guy thing the next night was just a complete package. That guy is made. That guy is going to go to the moon. That guy's the next Daniel Bryan or whatever you want to say. What I said a year ago was like, this guy is going to be, he may not be champion, although now I think he's going to be champion. But he is the perfect guy to be the foil for John Cena, Daniel Bryan, guys like that for the title. He will be in the title picture. I'm saying in the next 6 months at this point. I think he gets he at least is taking on Daniel Bryan on a regular
By
basis on Raw.
SummerSlam.
At least by SummerSlam. Yeah, he has to be at this point, especially with Heyman behind him. They're not all
If
Curtis
Heyman-
Axel.
If Paul Heyman can get Axel to be Intercontinental Champion, who knows what he can do with Cesaro?
Yeah. Rizz, what was your
What
moment?
about you, Rizz?
I said my moment
Did you?
for the weekend. Yeah, it was. Oh no, I didn't say that moment. It was the joke moment. Never mind. Actually, my moment was Scott Hall coming out, because I wouldn't have imagined in any light him looking that good and doing
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
He was just amazing. And for WrestleMania, it had to be Daniel Bryan winning.
Dutters, how about you?
Rock babies.
Rock babies. I had responded to Dutters talking about, I think, coming on the show here, and I just responded Rock, like Rock. That's awesome. And I just got a text back, babies. I'm like, first I just saw it. I'm like, what is happening? And it came together. Bobby, what about you?
Mine probably was the Undertaker streak coming to an end, just because of the reaction, and nobody expected it.
No.
Nobody, almost nobody. There were some people that had him losing, but I've never seen like the air taken out of a crowd like that.
Well, the problem was there was no air to begin with because everybody was exhausted from the show previously. So, and they got to it. It was so flat, and everybody was just like, it's Brock Lesnar. No way this is happening. Because I feel like everybody was like, no way this is happening. Now my wife is boycotting Raw.
I turned to my friends and I was like, I want little kids to cry tonight. I was talking about the John Cena versus Bray Wyatt match, but I will settle for grown-ass adults.
Yeah. The pictures have been amazing for this. Amazing.
But I think it had to be, because from what I read for the story, some props have to be given to Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
The man, he kind of carried the match. After he almost killed The Undertaker.
Did we figure out at what point that happened?
It was early.
Yeah.
It was way early.
It wasn't for what it was. It wasn't that bad of a match either, though.
It
what it
wasn't
was.
good,
Yeah, it was. I, in my opinion, it was the worst match of the night. But in a night of world-class matches,
exactly.
That's not much of an insult.
No. There wasn't a bad thing all
Even
night.
the Divas match was great.
Yep, it had its moments.
Fantastic. LB, more email.
Oh, more email, yes. Bray Wyatt entrance and Bryan win title. Steak was shocking, and Hall of Fame was unforgettable. Probably left some stuff, but what amazing person meal week. Don't forget about the Daniel Bryan Journey thing on the network tonight. What the fuck? Till next time.
No, we're forgetting about it. We're forgetting about it because we are here doing the show.
Yeah, that's true.
Stop taking us on, network.
Till next time, it's been me. It's been at Big PPC. Take care and don't stare. Take care, Mayhem crew and Mayhemers alike. Sent from you guessed it, iPhone.
Excellent. We'll get to more fan and social media stuff, more interactions with you guys. But first, I want to give shout outs to friends that are feeding our crew that make it here in the studio, here in the South Hills of Pittsburgh. Slice on Broadway, sliceonbroadway.com. We've been trying to, it's working. Some people are stopping into the studio and laughing at pizza. Wow, jeez. Matt Mike has given his seal approval to it here. And if you're visiting Pittsburgh, if you're around Pittsburgh, take a trip down here. And it's right down the road, right down from us. I mean, you can stop by Mayhem Studios, say hi to me. Sure.
They have beer.
They have beer. Fantastic beer. Great selection. So go check them out, sliceonbroadway.com, and you can sit there and you can watch the trolley go by. This is the only place with a regular light rail train that goes on the road.
Except for Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Just like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That's why I love living here, because it's just like the opening scene of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Have we looked at that? Is this the neighborhood that was patterned after? I need to look at that. I think it was actually North Side now I think about it. But I'm gonna look that up. No?
That's what we need in the background.
We're lucky. No, we're lucky enough that we don't hear the train where I'm at. Okay, because I do at night. I do hear it from my bedroom, and I mean, to me, it's soothing. But because it's only 3 blocks away, but still,
we need a train that comes into Fandango's music.
The new Mayhem Mr. Rogers is actually.
The train starts going back and forth. Just visuals.
Why is the train swinging? Oh, sliceonbroadway.com. Do that. Thanks to our friends there. And we're hoping you guys all voted. It's closed for nominations, but they were up for the WPXI Best Pizza in Pittsburgh. So we're hopefully going to find out soon if they placed in that. So, yeah. All right. So let's go into, again, I've been trying to bring a little bit of the mayhem that happens on the Wrestling Mayhem Show Facebook group into the show. And I see you're probably looking at some of the stuff that I posted in there. Actually, Rizz, you're the first one.
I am the first one.
Wow.
I'm just going to let this
Who is doing? Is that you?
No, that's not me at all, Sorg.
Oh,
Rizz, I'm definitely reading yours first because I loved your comment.
Rizz is actually watching Daniel Tiger right now.
I don't feel right reading this with Mr. Rogers' music playing in the background. I don't. It feels a little weird. Oh, okay. To this, Rizz said, "Does anyone else have a boner right now? Cesaro and Heyman is a match made in heaven."
Mr. Rogers boner.
Oh my.
Yeah, I think that was one of my. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rizz, do you want to explain yourself?
Do I have to explain myself?
Young man.
I guess not.
Do I have to explain myself of what glorious thing happened on Monday?
Yeah. That is a great match.
And not even that. The fact is, Heyman, within the hour, came from the most hated heel manager of all time to being the best face manager of all time. It was so mind-blowing.
In the same night.
In the same night, within the same hour.
I think somebody also brought up, hey, it's 2014, and Paul Heyman and Dutch Mantel are in a rivalry managing people.
Managing Claudio Castagnoli.
Claudio and Jack Swagger. Amazing. Another one, and maybe you guys can fill me in, because this was, I don't know how I came across this, because it was stuck in the middle of like a 50 commented post. But
what started this?
Keiko?
Keiko.
Okay. Keiko, who
Rizzuko
often comments
forever.
in there. What's that?
Rizzuko forever.
Okay, let me read the comment, and you can explain the background. And I share the sentiment. She says, "The only thing I got from reading every post in here is that I am officially sold as hell on the corporate Funaki title run. Like Beyond, indeed ready."
Indeed.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I gotta look. What were we talking about?
I don't even know. Like, the topic itself was not interesting, and somebody got mad, and then it turned into, like, I saw this stuff about Funaki.
It was one of our favorite posts on Facebook. And he started going off about how unhappy he was that Brock Lesnar broke the streak.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned into Funaki winning the title. And then I brought it back around and saying Kung Funaki should have won, should have broken the streak back in the days of the Attitude Era.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Another one. Oh, you got more? Then it stopped. You can't follow that up. Alex Cars, our friend, designs our t-shirts, of course. You know who called Taker's streak being broken before like anyone else? Bad News Barrett. That man is a prophet.
And he's a wrestler now again.
And he's a wrestler again! Yay!
He's
for
the
him.
best wrestler ever, actually, for beating up Rey Mysterio.
That was amazing. Poor Rey Mysterio. Poor Rey Mysterio.
That's
I
the
was
second-
just blown
only-
away at how much the crowd hated Ray.
For just
That's the
being
second
not the other
time.
guy in the ring. Really.
He didn't even have to be number 30 this time. And people
No.
hated him.
Like the best part about it is every time he hit a move, he goes on his knees. It's like holds up his hand. Like,
The
What?
best part though was when he was up on the top rope and he's going like,
What'd
"What
I
the heck's
do?"
happening?" And then Wade Barrett just bam right in the face.
what's happening?
I loved
Why
it.
are you guys booing me? Oh.
Riz, you should give him a hug.
He has such a complex right now. He has to. Right? He
Wait,
has to.
Was that a short joke?
No.
Is it my 9 knee surgeries, everybody?
All right, we got another one here. Steve Davis also along that line. Undertaker losing was shocking, but the real shock of the night was how well the WWE Network ran. And next to that, I didn't hear much for problems. I heard some people say, yeah, I kind of skipped back at one point, or they heard like, I did the thing it usually does on my PlayStation. But another guy on the Facebook, Ryan, actually linked us to a Pro Wrestling Torch article about the subscriber numbers. They announced Monday that WWE Network has a subscriber count of 667,287, and they're on track to meet their million mark. That is really their goal. And now, apparently, some articles saying this is a failure because they're not at a million yet, and some are saying otherwise.
They'll get there.
The stuff I read at the beginning when they announced this was we need to have 1 million by the end of the year to, I think, not break even, but become profitable. So if you read any articles where they say this is a failure, it's like, no, I don't think so. I think there's
It's a month old.
The stock market totally disagrees because when they announced their viewership numbers, it was like rats running from a sinking ship.
Yeah,
Just, like the entire stock market was like, nope, we're out of here. I don't know what they were expecting.
Yeah.
Because 600,000 is very respectable, but Jesus.
Yeah, it's I guess because not break even, a month in, I don't know, but the stock market's weird. We talked about the other show about how Amazon, the Jeff Bezos with Amazon told their stockbrokers, "Hey, we're not in a growth function. We're in a spend on ourselves function. If you want something like this, go buy something else." WWE Network, and even as far as this goes, WWE Network knows they're gambling. They know, and I want to say like stock buyers are fairly conservative from what I understand. And if you're not growing, if you're not on a complete upward momentum without any hiccups, if it's not perfect going up, you're getting sold. And sometimes this just becomes a mob mentality, and this is what happens. But why the hell I hate that we have to talk about the stock market when we're pro wrestling fans.
I blame Martha Stewart and JBL.
It's part of the business, man.
It is now.
I do hate to say it, but I mean, a lot of the gripes that we have with professional wrestling boils down to, they're in the business of selling nostalgia back to us. You know what I mean? And we want them to value the nostalgia, and they're valuing money.
The nostalgia is the
I think
commodity.
that's the biggest disconnect.
Yeah. WWE knows what they're doing. They'll come back around, and those people will be sorry. Hey, buy some stock while it's low right now.
Hurry.
Because if they keep up the performance like they did at WrestleMania, they are going to be worth a lot very soon. So now's the time to do it. Can I tell you guys about an art project that I discovered? And actually, a few of us got to view firsthand here this past week.
So before you do that, I want to this backtrack here. We're talking about stocks and art on the Wrestling Mayhem Show.
It has nothing to do with me. I didn't do any of this.
You didn't bring it with you?
Can't blame me.
Nope.
I had to class it up because the ladies here.
Yeah, okay.
All right, let's pass it up a little more. Of course, the WrestleMania party this weekend at Matt Carlins. or the Carlins. There's two of them.
Yeah.
I want to acknowledge that. But
Carlin.
this actually came up in the middle of somebody else's post, and I came across this. But apparently they made a WrestleMania entrance for their kids' toys.
Yeah.
And those are strobe lights, ladies and gentlemen. So there's Matt there with it. It looks like an epic match with what is that? Rey Mysterio, Dolph Ziggler, and maybe all right. And
sorry, it's reaction now.
That's what it looks like with the lights out. Pretty epic. Awesome. Undertaker entrance. Although I think that's Randy Orton. So go check that out.
He takes as long as the real Randy Orton
He
gets to the ring.
About Rev Theory playing. So I love that stuff. I love that. It was pretty cool. The kid kept moving. Apparently, after they announced that they were at the Silver Dome instead of the Superdome, I noticed that their kid moved the entrance from one place to another. So I think he was moving it to the right location. So,
Ouija ring.
Exactly. And by the way, I saw one of you guys put another tweet in here. Carlito just got himself double fired. Hall of Fame.
I posted it in the chat.
Yeah.
A nice little GIF of that night.
Does that mean he's rehired?
Our Carlito.
That'd be awesome.
Where'd you post it?
It's in the chat.
Which chat?
In the actual in the actual chat of live.sorgatronmedia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go check that out. I can't bring it up at the moment. Saying we got a voicemail.
Voicemail.
Wait, I put that in there specifically so we would talk about Carlito sassing the WWE and getting himself double fired.
All right, tell me about the sassing.
Instead, what happened was
there's a cat.
Rizz said he put something somewhere, and you talked about that, and we moved on.
You grew a tail.
And then a cat jumped in your face.
For audio listeners, Lunchbox has a tail now.
Watson is into the show.
I apologize for taking your spotlight. You may continue.
No, it's okay. Sorry.
No, continue. Do you were going to say?
Anyway, Carlito came out and made a bunch of jokes about how his time got cut. It was just like being in the old days, and he's used to working bingo halls nowadays. And he said a bunch of sassy stuff, and he's like, no, but it's about my father. And then didn't say anything for the rest of the night.
And I'll let the other employed brothers say the important stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Carlito being Carlito.
Carlito.
At least Jesus didn't stab anybody in the kidney this time.
Awesome. Can I get the voicemail now, sir?
Yeah.
All right. So we got one. I believe this is from Matt Carlins.
The Carlins.
What?
The Carlins.
The Carlins.
Wow.
I don't know why I did that, but it felt good. Hey, it's your pal in the mainstream media. Still cleaning up my house and finding little pieces of piñatista all over the place. I had to get a phone call in. I hope it's not too late. Because it struck me like a bolt of lightning. I just watched a clip of Jon Stewart talking about the Undertaker streak being over, and it just hit me that it had to be Brock Lesnar that broke the streak. There was nobody else. Am I right? There was nobody else to break the streak right now, here, in this moment in time. Not next year when Roman Reigns or Cesaro might have been ready. Not last year when CM Punk was still a full-time wrestler and wasn't Phil. It had to be Brock Lesnar right here, right now, because everybody's talking about it. All the mainstream media is talking about it. Jon Stewart's talking about it. Hell, there's been 2 straight days of stories about The Undertaker being in the hospital on our 5 o'clock news. Bob Pompiani came up to me on Monday and asked me about The Undertaker's streak. And you know what they all said? You know what they all didn't forget to mention? Brock Lesnar. Because it had to be Brock. There was nobody else. Debate this point. Try to debate this point. Prove me wrong. It had to be Brock Lesnar. There was nobody else. Right here, right now, this moment in time, it had to be Brock. Am I right? Am I right? Believe that. Believe in the truth.
First of all,
Wow. Believe in the Shield, I think he said at the end.
Believe in the Shield.
Yeah.
First of all,
That was Jen.
apologies to Piñatista. I don't know what came over me. anger, maybe.
Yes, there was a new pinata fashion after
This time
Batista.
it was a very easy pinata to hit.
Yeah. Movie trailer forthcoming.
But going back to his point, I agree. I mean, who else is gonna? You're gonna have UFC champion Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker.
We legitimized pro wrestling, just like Laurinaitis tried to 2 years ago. It finally happened.
It took him leaving.
You're gonna have
And Papiani
every agency.
and Rizz, and am I seeing this right? Papiani took a call about it on the nightly sports
Papiani
call.
took a call
What?
from a caller on Sunday night.
Let's broaden this. For those that don't know, okay, Carlins works at KDKA Channel 2 here in Pittsburgh. Papiani is a sports guy here in Pittsburgh, and that's why that name was getting floated around a lot. So only a quarter of the audience is even going to know what the hell we're talking about. But still, the local news, it's
going around.
It's going around.
It's like
The first thing on At Midnight last night was people's reactions to The Undertaker losing. They showed them on At Midnight. It was great.
I was going to show some of the Daily Show clip, but I realized that they're on a tirade taking stuff down on YouTube, so we're not going to do that. Yeah. It is, and how that became, because I mean, you got to think. Even you look at years past, we had mass appeal because The Rock came back into the match every year, so it had that mass. Holy crap! This year they had the winning combination of Hulk Hogan came back, so every kid in the last 30 years says, "Oh, maybe I should watch wrestling," and everybody knows Hulk Hogan, plus Brock Lesnar as the UFC guy bringing that crowd. Then this happened, and now it's in the news all over the place. Now, which is amazingly smart, because you're going to go spend your $9.99 a month to go watch the thing.
right.
Jack up the numbers.
And
there you go.
people are still going to bitch about it.
Us, they're already paying our $9.99 or played our $69.95 Sunday night are gonna bitch about it. As fans, they're like, "You can't beat the streak." My wife is going to the gym instead of Raw. What the hell is that? I mean, this is seriously affect my living situation at home.
I apologize for that, Sorg.
It's your fault, Rizz.
Way to go.
It's all because I destroyed Pinatista, isn't it?
Apparently, it was
you guys just
you voodoo dolled it. They were New Orleans, and you voodoo dolled it.
I voodoo dolled it.
You voodoo.
That's right.
You made Batista run out of gas. Oh wait, that always happens.
Well, I took out his legs first, so there's a good possibility that could happen.
Well, Dudders, I know you said you're going to leave here at the end of the first half. Yes.
Yeah.
So you have any parting words?
Yes.
Anything else you want to touch on that we haven't gone to yet from the weekend that you want to get out there?
Number one, these Carlins pay-per-view parties are getting so out of control. We're gonna have to start selling tickets because everyone's gonna want to go.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah. It's getting pretty
If
full.
you haven't seen the pinatas or the cookies or the food or just the general figure pictures, Chachi's photographs of
Oh yeah.
from our events, you really should check those out. They're really a lot of fun, and we have a good time, and we encourage other people to have good parties too. I thought that was fantastic. As far as the weekend goes, now I have to recap everything. I think this is horrible to say, but the fact that Taker got hurt was one of the best things that could have happened for the WWE.
Oh,
because
wow.
everybody had a reason to talk about it. Beyond it just being the streak, it was also, everybody mentioned that he was in 2 days, they kept him a couple days in the hospital. They had to keep him, I mean, it was on your favorite TMZ, and and it was on the local, even though like we had talked, the local news had covered it, but I think it unfortunately was one of the better things that happened for the whole event. And also I have listened to the Wyatt's theme song I can't tell you how many times since
what happened to your camera, dude? Your camera move?
Yeah,
why are you all the way over there?
I don't know, I haven't moved.
That's weird. Yeah.
But I thought that as the live performance went, I forget the artist's name, but performed with the masks was pretty fantastic for the Wyatts. That was the only other thing I would add.
Probably creep. I mean,
They were
the
amazing.
creep factor was over the top, and I mean, not even Undertaker level.
Mhm.
You know, it's. I think they got gold with this. I really think Wyatts are in some fashion
Mhm.
the new Undertaker.
Mhm.
It is very possible to be the new Undertaker if they keep.
Mhm.
At least, like, we'll see. Are they going to be smart enough to keep adapting?
Mhm.
You know, or are we going to get to a point where the NWO and we get like random people that don't work for them anymore? But
Factions, new factions.
you never know.
What, like the LWO of the Wyatt family?
Ooh.
With Conan somehow coming back? Oh,
As Max Moon, though.
as Max Moon, yes.
No.
This is our cousin Max Moon. he just grows a beard under the mask.
No one will even notice.
Follow the
wow.
rockets.
Well, thank you for joining us here. Stick around after Awesome Cast for the mayhem. So at KDutters, if you want to hit her up on Twitter. In meantime, we're gonna go check. We're gonna go check out a trailer here. You guys on audio, you guys on video. For Finding Zach Gowen, we talked to Zach last week again on Indie Mayhem Show. You can check that out on WrestlingMayhemShow.com and actually on the iHeartRadio app if you want to go download that. We're trying to get the show on there too, but there's a little bit of an issue with that. We're gonna work on. I think it's because LB swears too much, but we'll work
Damn
on
it,
that.
LB.
Thanks.
Fuck that.
Thanks, LB. But in the meantime, go check out that trailer. You can get digital downloads from us over at sorgatronmedia.com, or you can get the DVD from joe-dombrowski.com, or of course get links to all that stuff at zachgowen.com. ZACH if you're not clear on that. All our early project stuff I haven't misspelled. So zachgowen.com, and here's a little bit of audio, video, depending on where you're at, from Finding Zach Gowen. We'll be right back.
I'm going to talk about some things that I find, personally, I still find painful. See, it's kind of difficult for me to talk about because my childhood necessarily wasn't the best childhood. You know, I was in my own prison. I broke my leg in 3 or 4 places.
He was diagnosed in October as having osteogenic sarcoma. We didn't know what that surgery would mean.
I woke up as an 8-year-old missing his leg. It was definitely fate, I believe, that led me to the House of Truth Wrestling Academy. But in my heart, I knew that this is exactly what I was born to do. I finally found a place that accepted me. It was the most euphoric feeling I've ever had in my life.
And here's why I finally let him know. I go, listen, the WWE is going to call you.
I was completely overwhelmed.
This guy has a definite future in his business.
But I get to be in a Piper's Pit. I get to go to the ring with Hulk Hogan, wrestling the Big Show, working with Brock Lesnar, to be in the ring with Vince. Like, this is totally insane to me.
9 months before that, he was just a fan. 9 months later, he's in the ring with Hulk Hogan.
You could see this attitude change.
He definitely got an ego.
I rebelled and I acted out.
People didn't want to be put in matches with him.
Zach had so much heat. It looked like he was getting the living hell beat out of him.
And that it was better that he'd leave or they're going to end up killing him.
It definitely changed Zach. He got released.
The drugs and alcohol become my answer to all of that.
It just started going way downhill after that.
Zach's drug use was out of hand.
I feared for Zach's life many times.
I used to have dreams that he would die.
It was the closest I've seen to him being OD.
The guy has a gun to my head.
He went through a dark time in his life, and sometimes people need to do that to learn how to live.
He's been through hell and back. That's the important part. He's back.
Zach's legacy can be anything he wants it to be.
It's a journey unlike anybody's story I've ever heard in my life. And I would want people to know the entire Zach Gowen story, and then judge Zach.
Hey guys, go check that out. Finding Zach Gowen at sorgatronmedia.com or zachgowen.com or joe-dabrowski.com for DVDs, digital downloads, however way you want it. Or if you said hi, like Eamon did to Joe Dabrowski at WrestleCon this past weekend, hope you grabbed your copy. With that,
handshake.
He has a great handshake. With that, we're going to start with that tradition this week, not sponsored by Kickstart. Remember when?
I'm not gonna remember when at WrestleMania again, and we're probably gonna talk about it because we can remember when.
That's right. This week, a very WrestleMania. Remember when? Nope, that's a lie.
Not really.
Not really WrestleMania. Well, it has to do with WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan versus the world. The best triumphant hero moments. What would they be? We had a really big one. Rock kind of spoiled it. Says it's Bryan versus the Authority tonight. What were some other great moments where somebody had to overcome mass odds like this, guys? And I know somebody's going to say Stone Cold.
I was gonna say Stone Cold in everything he ever did.
Yeah, kind of, right? Pick a specific scenario, maybe. Maybe anybody? No? Yeah.
I'm trying to think, because there's obviously a lot of them, because it's a common story in professional wrestling. You know, underdog overcoming the craziest, like, stacked together, like, you know, odds that, you know. And only in wrestling and in comic books, I guess, those people tend to overcome it. So,
Bobby, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with the 1-2-3 Kid versus Razor Ramon.
Oh, nice one. Nice one.
Razor is basically bullying him his entire run in WWE, and then they had a diaper match, and Razor lost to the 1-2-3 Kid, and that's how he got his name 1-2-3 Kid.
That wasn't in the diaper match.
No, it wasn't the diaper match. That was part of it.
Okay.
No, he was one.
I remember there being a diaper match, and then now they're best friends.
So now they're the Click, and they're at the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
I kind of want to say the major thing that everybody talks about, even though he talks about it a lot more. If you have The Rock, Stone Cold, and Chris Jericho in the same ring, who would you think would be the undisputed world heavyweight champion out of those three? It would probably be between the two, Rock and Stone Cold. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chris Jericho overcame the odds and beat both of them.
Yep.
In one night?
In one night. Suck it.
I don't know, Rizz. I mean, it wasn't really triumphant. It was a little underhanded, don't you think?
It was The Rock and Stone Cold.
Well, I don't mean to rain on your parade. I'm just saying we're trying to think of, like, a triumphant moment, you know? I'll give you a triumphant moment.
That wasn't triumphant?
I'll give you the triumphant moment that no one likes to talk about anymore. But it was the greatest triumphant moment in WrestleMania history.
Oh, no.
It was WrestleMania 20 when Chris Benoit made Triple H tap out.
Oh, no. You fucking took mine.
A guy I was sitting next to at the bar got up and yelled into my cousin's face, "I don't care who you are, you can't fake that." That's what a grown man said after Chris Benoit made Triple H tap out. That was the ultimate.
That's the thing?
That was the thing. It was
pretty fucking huge.
I was watching it in a bar down in Georgia, and it was at the end of that match was pandemonium in this sports bar. People, the grown men, Sorg, were off their chairs. The entire building was like on their feet, jumping up and down, screaming at the television set like we were there live. It was insane.
Wow.
And that bit right at the very end of the match where Hunter's like almost to the ropes, and he does the bit where he tries to roll back over, and Benoit just is still holding on to him, and then he's stuck in the middle of the ring, and then everybody knows he's got it, and you're just waiting for him to tap out. So good. I'm sorry I stole yours, LB, but that was the ultimate.
Okay. That's okay. I cooked up another one. And I think this is it's not just overcoming odds like storyline odds, but a lot of shit in his life, and nobody ever thought he'd get there. But Mick Foley on the night where WCW tried to spoil his title win.
Oh yeah.
Damn it, LB, you took
that's
mine.
a pretty good example.
I'll get one. This is I may sound partial here, but it's starting. I had a lot of experience with this recently, and one we don't think about is, and I feel like we're going to have a lot of the same answers here that are going to be stolen. But think about Zach Gowen with his run with WWE, because it was, again, his story to begin with, and Vince and everything. That's a pretty good one.
All right, since I needed to get another one in, since mine didn't work out pretty well. Santino winning the Intercontinental Champion against Umaga.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Guy
from the crowd.
Santina winning the Divas Battle.
Yes.
Against all odds.
Against
Triumph.
all odds or reason.
All odds, including not being a woman.
Harvey Whippleman, for that matter.
It's Sorg.
Yeah.
8 equals D.
What?
He just put a dick in your mind, son.
In your mind.
Wheelz, what about you?
Well, LB took mine, but I'm going to go pretty recent.
Sorry.
It's okay, bud. It's all right.
That's why I try to go outside the box.
I'm going to go from last night. Paige winning the Divas Championship in her first night.
Way to call back there, your Wheels.
Yeah. Think it back. You're as good with that. You're as good as reaching back in your memory as I am with ages.
We're going to go way back, all the way to last night around this time.
On a similar thread, if you remember in the way back, it was a match on Raw when
where'd John Cena come back?
Stephanie McMahon for the women's championship. That was pretty awesome.
I can't take you seriously with John Cena with that facial expression sitting on your lap.
Let's see if John has anything to say.
Oh, take that, Bobby.
Yeah. I'm sorry, John Cena. I won't talk about your father like that again.
If you have little kids, you too can have toys like this to play with, and it won't be weird.
I want to cohabit teacher.
Yeah, but let's address this. We talked about this in the first half. Is it still weird when you're building a set for WrestleMania?
Sorg, I'm here.
Well, Sorg, the pinata construction was taken out of my hands, and I was like in arts and crafts mode. I'm like, we got to build a pinata. Well, don't worry. Wife of the show's got the pinata. Well, I'm building something.
Eamon, what did you remember when?
It's all right. We're just diverting. I didn't forget about you, Eamon.
Oh, okay.
What you got?
I also can't see you.
Oh wait, and also we got the Hulk Hogan. We got the Hulk Hogan Wrestle Buddy to counteract.
The real Wrestle Buddy.
That's right. A lot of snuggling going on there.
When you push its button, it says Silver Dome, and the crowd.
Eamon, what
I remember when for overcoming the odds, and yeah, we've mentioned this like 3 times already on the show, but we're going to mention it again. Razor Ramon in general. Like, the whole idea of like, and I think we've discussed it before, is when wrestlers go through shit like that and drugs and just horrible stuff, like, they just die. And no one thinks anything twice about it.
Yeah,
You just sort of assume that happens because they're wrestlers, and it's the business, and especially in the 80s and all that, and 90s, and But no, Razor came back and he overcame a lot of obstacles. I didn't get to watch the Hall of Fame live, but they showed the recap footage. And I got a little teary when they showed the clip of his speech. When he mentioned sort of the idea of bad times come and go, but bad times. I can't remember the exact line, but bad times never stay, but bad guys do. I love that so much, and yeah, that's my overcoming the odds. Remember when?
Nice. All right, I think we got everybody there. Tell us you remember when here on if you found this as a clip on YouTube or at that email address at Wrestling Mayhem Show or .com or Facebook, Google Plus, wherever you're finding us, wherever you can communicate with us. Twitter at Mayhem Show as well. And that was your remember when. So let's take a moment to check out our friends, ProWrestlingTees.com. You can check out, support the show, and put some threads on your back here. ProWrestlingTees.com/WMS. We got some great stuff designed by the great Alex Cars, including the good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. Ridgemont High style t-shirt, the property of Mayhem, and the good old classic WMS logo. You can check out all at $19.99 plus shipping. Great quality stuff. Most of us have at least one of these shirts that we're sporting around here. Sometimes two, sometimes three. I know I always buy it myself just to make sure I know what you guys are getting out there. But it's not just that. They have a whole bunch of indie wrestlers and non-indie wrestlers. Tugboats in here, guys. Tugboat. Jimmy Jacobs.
They just made a new line. Yeah. They just made a new line of Randy Savage stuff, too, which looks awesome.
Getting to that, sir. But no, you're right. Fully licensed Macho Man. We talked about before the Andre the Giant, officially licensed by the estate t-shirts. Great looking stuff. Oh my God, these are awesome. There's a Macho King shirt. I guarantee you, Gregory Irons will be wearing this the next time I see him. This is some good stuff here. Other guys like Veda Scott has t-shirts stored up on here. Dustin Rhodes, who is now Eamon's new good buddy, from what I understand, has his own store on there. Outside of the WWE, so Scott Hall, we've been talking about him. He's got a store on here as well with his own stuff. So go support these guys directly. It's just another way to support them. And he's got a bad guy and a click one. Awesome. So go check that out. ProWrestlingTees.com, and of course our stuff at ProWrestlingTees.com/WMS for the Mayhem merchandise. Just throw that in the cart with the other awesome stuff going on over there, and support the show. We do get a little slice off of that to help pay the bills around here as well. Another way you can do that. So there's a lot that happened over the weekend. We touched base on a lot of stuff. So I want to make sure we back clean up here. What do we not get to? I get a little more of your opinions here. We touched on the Hall of Fame, good, bad, and the ugly. I think we had a little bit of everything. We talked about.
First of all.
Well, we talked about Jake. We talked about Scott Hall. But then there was more. We talked about the Carlito. I don't think there's not much to say about Carlos Colon. Because I don't think a lot of us have really experienced him, other than the Royal Rumble in, 93, when he was a strapping youngster, according to Gorilla Monsoon. So
my favorite part was when he said, "Fuck it, I'm doing the rest of this in Spanish."
Yeah, that was fun. That's fun. Rizz, what did you have on mind?
First of all, I'd like to take this moment to talk about my mama.
71
Everybody
times.
should thank their mama every day.
I text my mom. I legitimately text my mom and say, "Mr. T says
every day.
It's talking about his mama, and I miss you."
Independence Day.
What?
To Christmas Day.
Oh, don't.
What?
Don't.
To Easter Day.
No.
What?
They said Independence Day. To Halloween Day.
What?
To Arbor Day.
What?
And yes, Earth Day.
Are you reading a transcript?
No, I was just going off the cuff there. But yeah, what the hell? The two weirdest speeches came from Lita and Mr. T. Am I correct?
Yeah.
It didn't even come from the one who we thought was going to be the weirdest.
Yeah,
speech.
everybody was definitely worried about Jake and worried about Warrior in the long run.
By the way, you said his name proper. It is Warrior.
Yes.
His little girl's last
They're the
name's
normal ones.
I wouldn't even boil down Warrior to normal. It was awkward. It was a little rambly.
It was
shouldn't
boring.
have done
He
the
just said a
video,
bunch of
man.
stupid shit and then left. They should have. I think the main event should have been Jake.
Yeah. In the long run, as far as quality goes, and I'm curious. Did anybody get to watch the USA cut of it last night?
No.
So I am kind of see how they salvaged that by.
What's the point without like the awkwardness and like the kind of like looking at your watch while you're watching it? That was the whole part of the experience, was watching
And
it
the other
live
thing, how many of you guys have actually?
How much longer is Lita going to go on here? Damn, this is like 45 minutes.
How have you guys?
Like I told Sorg at the WrestleMania party. Everybody had their time cut because Lita went first. It was just like old times. Lita fucked everybody.
Aww.
Yep.
You leave her alone. She's a nice lady, has fantastic looking tattoos.
Well, I think the thing was
It's hard to say.
it was still.
You were planning to go shorter than It's hard to say that.
The best part of the night, though, I thought, besides like all the cool Jake the Snake Roberts stuff, was when Kane interrupted Mr. T, and Mr. T looked at him and go, "Did I take too long?" And Kane just shaking his head yes, and then Mr. T extending his hand to shake his hand. He goes, "Sorry."
No, then he turns to the crowd and goes, "Sorry."
Sorry.
And he starts backpedaling. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
He continues to say sorry as he walks behind the curtain. It was so brilliantly done.
Eamon, you were saying something?
Well, I as far as like the length of stuff goes, I think this was interesting since it being the first year on the network, them doing an actual sort of like long presentation, I guess, about this. Normally you would have it on USA and it would just be that cut down version of,
but this is also
like an hour.
I mean, they put this as is on the DVD for WrestleMania now. And
it's long. I mean,
this is par for the course, guys. If you watch some of those old ones, and I really hope the network starts putting some of the old ones up so people see. No, this wasn't exclusive to 2014. They're all weird.
Yeah. Because it is like, and people talk about, I think people, like someone mentioned that WWE released like a statement to fans who are going to the Hall of Fame saying you have to sort of act a certain way. It's like, yeah, because it's really not, you can't really treat it like a wrestling event. It is a Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Like it's a professional sort of event. Yes, sometimes those professional events are super long. So I don't know. I like I said, I haven't watched it back, but I definitely looking to. So yeah.
No spoilers.
Yeah, but that crowd enjoyed the whole Mr. T Momma thing. They fed into it, and he fed with it.
I don't know if he entirely knew what was going on. I know Warrior did.
Oh, God.
When that happened.
Oh, Jesus, Warrior.
Mr. T had that speech.
I didn't watch the Hall of Fame, but I watched Raw last night. Good God. The minute he grabbed that microphone, a minute in, I was just like, somebody run out. Somebody, whoever's supposed to do a run in now, fucking do a run in.
Warrior?
God.
That was tame.
Get the mic off this motherfucker.
That was tame.
Yeah, that was tame.
That was definitely tame in the long
run. It was so off, though, and so awkward.
It sounded
it got
like
worse.
Somebody said, it sounded like somebody said after the Hall of Fame speech, "Hey, what the hell was that? Go out there on Monday and do Warrior."
And you could tell, like, during his entrance, they were doing, like, extended, like, pans of the announce table just in case, like, he did anything. Like, oh, God. So awkward.
It definitely feels like WWE is figuring out if they can work with this guy. Because, the awkward thing about the thing is he started talking about the deal he made.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we had Linda telling us about how Warrior could be a petulant child at certain times.
And then he did become that petulant child near the end of the speech.
He kind of did.
When he just goes, "Hey, that video, that DVD was wrong." And and he just
He was
continued
a
on
petulant
going with his
child
speech.
during the speech when he was like, "Oh, it's like a whole advertisement for DDP yoga."
Yeah, fuck that.
I didn't remember that.
Remind me why we like the Warrior again.
Hey,
I hate the Ultimate Warrior.
Hey, Mad Mike is here, the birthday boy, and look, we brought you balloons.
Yay, balloons!
Yeah. Real quick, and we should move on to the rest of the stuff here. We're on a timetable. Real quick, Mike, your thoughts on the Hall of Fame?
Jake Roberts was mystifying as always. Probably the best speech I've heard in years on the Hall of Fame. Lita sounded awkward but adorable. I want to meet Mr. T's mother, and I really wish they let him go on instead of Warrior telling me how to live my life.
There you go.
Also, it should have been sponsored by DDP Yoga.
It kind of was, right? They did something. They actually did some not a stand-up show, but some kind of talk shows. I don't know, something.
He did a breakfast with DDP.
He did a breakfast?
I heard him talking about it to Jim Ross. He did a breakfast with DDP.
But they did
the Sunday morning of WrestleMania.
And they did something one of those nights where they were at a theater and it was like a come and hear them talk like a Cole Cabana show kind of situation too, with him and Roberts and Hall. So I mean he's working this, and as I was saying in the first half of the show, there will be a documentary including what happened Saturday night. You bet on it. This is happening.
Oh. DDP has already said that he's been filming everything that's happening.
What I'm saying. Yeah.
It's called the Resurrection of Jake Roberts,
and Hall's going to be a part of it too, as long as he sticks with it. So, WrestleMania, we talked about it a little bit already. Some high points there. The best, actually, Mike, I think you said best WrestleMania than X7.
Yep.
Really?
I'm standing by it.
I think it's the most solid, top to bottom, as long as I can remember.
I agree. I love this WrestleMania. As far as one from the past couple of years, I think this has been the strongest, definitely card-wise, and just feeling this was a really, really great WrestleMania. I think it's up there. Personally, I really love X7. I don't know, I feel like X7 is kind of...
look at that card again, though. There's a lot of fluff on that card.
But there's a lot of really great stuff on that card.
But this was all great stuff.
There's random filler matches, but compared to, I don't know, I felt I understand people being super excited about Taker Brock, and I was super shocked by it. No, it's awesome. It was a really boring match. It was a super boring match for being a guy that was there. The crowd was totally out of it. They weren't even popping for Taker's offense.
I think the crowd was just tired. Because at that point they had been there 4 hours.
Let's take this to Eamon, since he was there. I mean, at that point, the feeling from us watching it, at least in the crew that we were, was that it felt like you guys had a lot going on, and even by maybe even the Cena match,
there was a lot going on. I also just felt like they were going at half speed, and I think the crowd could really tell. And when they would cheer at times, it almost was like a sympathy cheer. They were very much like, this is Taker, and this is, so we should be excited for this. And that's why when Brock gets the win, I don't think the shock on people's faces was because Brock got the win. It was because it was so just basic and so boring when he pinned him, it felt like a near fall, and they was just trying to shock us. And then everyone was just like, wait, really? This is what's happening?
And they really played that up with they didn't play music, they didn't do anything.
Right,
for a
so
while.
it felt false. It felt like it was a mistake.
Yeah.
And my friend Justin was like, that's not what happened, right? That has to be wrong. They made a mistake, right? And then they put 21 and 1 up, and I'm like,
yeah, and then everyone was like, what the fuck is happening?
But that's what they were going for.
No, absolutely. But I think the crowd was legitimately just zonked out because of how bad a match it was. And not to be like, oh, that match was shitty, blah, blah, blah. I think
it wasn't a good
about
match.
The streak and should Brock have ended it? because, why are you putting this guy over or whatever. I think it was a perfect place to end the streak because Taker is really on his end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he really is honest, and I couldn't tell from like how it was presented really on the show, and obviously we had had a lot of follow up on the Taker side of it, but the way I see it, the way they ended everything, that very much could have been Taker's last match.
Yeah, I agree.
They had everyone, the announcers and everyone was standing up, clapping Taker after the match. That very much could have been his last match.
Yeah, yeah.
And the way he was moving in the ring, the way he was performing, I don't think that's a far, that's very likely, I think.
I feel like the last 3 years he's ended up in the hospital after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's been the story every year, and I think
no, not last year.
Not last year.
No,
he kept wrestling after last year.
Last year he kicked Phil in the head and said, "Fuck you, I'm winning this."
Yeah.
that was not the deal last year.
No,
he stayed for a while after too and wrestled a couple matches.
Yeah, he wrestled the Shield in 2 weeks, and then he wrestled Dean Ambrose on SmackDown of all places.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think that match had a lot to do with, first of all, Brock's style, because Brock is a more methodical guy as opposed to like a CM Punk or like a Triple H who's more smash mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, they kind of treat it like a shoot fight.
Yeah,
that's what it seemed like to
because
me. Like, because they're both big MMA guys, they're both like trading holds and shit. Like, I think if they had a shoot fight, that's what it would be more like.
And I feel like, wasn't that some of the talk we were saying, like, they kind of needs to be a shoot fight, or was that the weird part? Somebody said at some point this thing is weird and it turns shoot-ish.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that that's the direction it would have gone in, is that it kind of would have looked like Brock was going off the script a little bit. I'm not going to speak because I think Eamon's opinion is probably the most valid one here because he was the one who was actually in a building. But John Cena and I both here think that the problem was that the build-up really for the match wasn't strong enough, and no one believed that Brock had a legitimate chance to win, which sounds ridiculous now, but no one thought he was going to win going into the match. Sorg, we were watching together. I got up and got a drink in the dead middle of that match and cracked jokes. Let me know if it picks up while I'm in the kitchen, I walked away from the Undertaker match in the middle of it because I didn't care. You just get it over with and let him win.
We were all like on our phones and bullshitting with each other, and then it happened, and everybody in the room at the same time went, "What?"
Yeah, I was like, "Wait,
exactly."
That happened?
I put my hand over my mouth. I was like, "Oh, what?"
Like it's like he hits the third F. He hits the third F5, and the thought that goes through my head was not, "Wow, this is going to be the end for Taker." The thought in my head was, "Really, kicking out of 3 F5s? Really, Undertaker?"
I had the same. I had the same thought.
I feel silly.
Yeah.
I was like, sort of, no, and not to be like that asshole. I was sort of fading in my chair, and I was just like, really, they're doing like Taker's gonna kick out of 3 F5s.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
And also like going back to like the actual like physics of the match, like when they were setting up for their finishers, they were going so slow about it. Like it was like really like, okay, let me get you up for this. Like it felt like it was just taking forever.
I still wonder if
anybody else noticed like the tombstone on Brock though. I mean, how high
like
his head
he
was.
almost I couldn't tell, but it felt like he almost like lost them.
It was like Kane tombstoning Linda McMahon, but I wonder if Taker's concussion had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
It very much could have.
Because I mean, he's an old man to be getting a concussion in the beginning of a match, and then trying to go another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good situation. And I'm just going to say one more thing. I'm sorry, Mike.
That's right.
I had a chance to watch the match again yesterday, and knowing that the way the match went and how we all were not really that into the match, and kind of taking in the look on Undertaker's face after that match, and I mean, kind of like that sense of, this looked like it was his last match. But also a sense for me looking at a lot of disappointment on his face that maybe he knew that going in that this was going to be his last match, and that he was disappointed with the quality of the match, the way it turned out. I kind of got that just from looking at his face. And I know that's hard to do when you're watching wrestling, getting a sense of what someone's really thinking. But that was a sense I got on the second viewing, was that Taker seemed disappointed and maybe a little bit let down with the fact that was his last match, and that's the way things played out.
I don't think it's going to be his last match.
I don't think so either.
No, I don't think so, because I'm going to liken it to Mariano Rivera. Mariano Rivera, for those who don't know, closer for the Yankees last year. He retired. 2 years ago, everyone thought it was going to be his last year, and he injured himself shagging fly balls in the outfield. And like, he was pitching great, everything was going fine, but then he injured himself. He couldn't finish out the season, and he had an interview, and it was just like, originally I was going to retire this season. I can't go out like this. And I think The Undertaker is going to be the same way. I think he's going to have one more match at Mania. I'm not saying it's going to be against Sting, because now I'm not sure. I think if it's going to be against anyone, it might be John Cena.
Yeah.
Which I could see that, like, have John Cena, Undertaker next year, Taker retires the following year when they're probably going to be in Dallas.
Okay, the streak is gone, Mike, and everybody else, but the retirement stipulation is still out there for the Undertaker. You can still have an epic. One of the first things that upset me about the streak being lost is the sense that WWE left money on the table by not doing Undertaker Cena at WrestleMania. But given a couple of days to think it over, the retirement stip is still in play. You could still have an epic John Cena Undertaker match.
I don't think he's wrestling again.
It doesn't feel like
at WrestleMania.
I think it's hard to build that up again.
No. It's the fact that this sport.
I think going into that match.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Rizz.
No, I was going to say this is the.
I was just going to say that I think perhaps that.
I think we got a little bit of a delay here. Matt, then Rizz.
Okay.
We need a conch show.
All right, I'll take this. I think going into the match, Undertaker thought it was his last match. I think after the match ended, he's probably thinking, I want to have another match.
But if you're Vince McMahon, if you saw that match that took place, you saw how easily that guy just got hurt. Why would you put him back in?
Yeah.
Why would you make him wrestle again?
Hey, there's a physical. There's a medical staff. There's a medical test that these guys have to go through to get into the ring. Undertaker had to pass that test to get in the ring. The reason Hulk Hogan didn't have a match is because he couldn't pass that test.
Right, but if somebody looks, I get that, but when somebody looks a certain way, or
he
you can tell something in their performance.
Another bump is that dangerous.
It's a concussion. Brock Lesnar is sloppy at best.
You know how many
forget that
people
Brock
have
is not
died
the greatest musician in the world.
All right, well, this is a debate that's going to go on, but we got to wrap up here, guys. And we barely even touched Raw, but we did touch on it a lot on the Raw wrap-up show last night directly after that. Go check that out over at WrestlingMayhemShow.com and on the Wrestling Mayhem Show super feed over on iTunes and Stitcher as well. Where we got. I think we covered for the most part what happened on Raw last night on there. So, guys, let's do it real quick. Tell me, not you, Mike. We already got yours. Unless you learned something in the last 2 hours. What did you guys learn from wrestling this week? We'll go around the horn with Rizz.
I learned that CM Punk is now second in the creepiest song sung in the WWE arena.
All right. What about you, Bobby?
Like I said earlier, I learned that I wanted to see WWE make little kids cry with the John Cena versus Bray Wyatt match, but instead I will settle for grown-ass adults crying over the Undertaker losing a streak.
LB, how about you?
I learned that John Cena is afraid of spiders, especially when those spiders are large bearded men.
Wheelz, how about you?
What did I learn? I really enjoyed watching WrestleMania at a college campus, while also every once in a while taking a peep at my network just to see how far along I was compared to their stream, which was 30 seconds, and I enjoyed it. And unfortunately, I caught the Undertaker finish before they did, and I just shook my head and went, "No, please, not this." And somebody's like, "What?" I'm like, "You'll see." And so I enjoyed watching WrestleMania with a college crowd because the yes chants were great, the what's, the everything felt like you're there at the Superdome.
Silverdome.
What about you, Matt?
I learned that sometimes I talk too much. Sorry for hogging the second half of the show, guys. And I also learned that JBL and Cole do not like Diet Mountain Dew.
Jerry Lawler does, though. Jerry Lawler drank that like a champ.
I don't know if he enjoyed it, though.
Of course, Jerry Lawler likes Diet Mountain Dew.
We need to stop feeding Jerry Lawler things that are going to give him another heart attack.
Yeah.
I think Jerry Lawler lost a bet that night. And he just said, "Okay, I'll do it," and drank it.
You're gonna just tell me, he's like, sponsor says you have to drink it.
JBL's like, "I'm not drinking that stuff, Michael."
Sorg, I learned one more thing. Bob Backlund is the master of facial expressions during WrestleMania.
Yes, he is. Oh, man.
I don't know if he had popcorn in his teeth. I don't know if he was just mugging for the camera. I don't know if he was fixing his dentures. I don't know if he was just being Bob Backlund. Whatever he was doing, he needs to do it all the time, and he needs to do it while Warrior is snarling in his face.
Yes. I learned I enjoyed the Red Carpet Hall of Fame show more than I ever expected.
Yes,
that was so entertaining. I mean, that's what I've enjoyed. I watched 2 of the 3 WrestleMania Todays, and just catching these guys just not in promo mode. You know, even the backstage promos we see, they're just sitting and talking, and it's more real. Catching these guys kind of out of their elements. And
Sorg, was the red carpet thing just a whole lot of Renee Young
with awkward Kickstarters sitting in front of them? Apparently, no, it was Ray Young. Renee, it's on network if you want to look back at it. But it was like they had a red carpet in front of the stage. Renee Young was, and a couple of the NXT announcers were out there getting interviews. Cole and Maria Menounos, I'm starting to say her name right. We're actually up on a platform and they're bringing people up interviewing. So they're just like talking to the wrestlers as they came in with whoever they were with.
All right. So I was gonna say if it was all Renee Young, I'd watch it.
But it was pretty cool though. I think it's a lot of Renee Young, and she was very classy.
Tom Phillips is delightful as well.
What?
Was Tom Phillips there? I don't know. I'm assuming you said NXT announcer. So
Saxton, the black guy, and I don't think the other dude was.
Okay, so no Tom Phillips. But Byron Saxton's cool too.
I don't think Phillips is all over the app last night. And actually, the app was amazing to watch last night. Good post WrestleMania stuff with Renee Young actually, and the in between stuff like they started the Cesaro Swagger match, and the middle stuff with I want to say the Wyatts that we saw was pretty good. Again, catching the crowd was pretty fantastic.
Oh, and the King of Swing is the best name ever.
Yes, I love it. Already,
King of Swing, that has to be a Heyman.
Has to be.
Guys, Heyman was his manager for less than a minute, and he coined the perfect catchphrase for Cesaro.
The King of Swing, like that. That's perfect.
Guys, Wrestling Mayhem Show. Thank you.
Sorg. Hi.
Eamon. I even set you up. I'm sorry.
What did you learn?
What did you learn from New Orleans?
What did you learn from your live experience at WrestleMania besides not to eat the Zimmer pizza?
I'm just so. You don't know my age. It's so.
I know your age. You're 50.
Eamon, you know my age?
But
it just changed.
Named is 47/.
Very well.
Thank you, Will. I learned from wrestling this week there is such a thing as too much wrestling. There was so much wrestling this weekend.
I told you that years ago, sir.
I want to crawl in a ball, and I want to just like not. And I watched wrestling last night too, even when I shouldn't have, because there was just so much wrestling. And
Eamon, are you ready for Thursday Impact?
Eamon learned not to eat sparkly pizza.
No.
Eamon.
Guys, it's a Wrestling Mayhem Show. Thank you at Eamon to Please, at Matt Carlins, at Mad Mike 4883, at Bobby F. J-Town, at the Rizz, at Hot Wheels RWA, at DJ Lunchbox, also at the Papa Lunchbox, and I'm at Sorgatron. I'm at Outta Here. We're at Mayhem Show. Catch us every Tuesday at live.sorgatronmedia.com at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can drop us a line at Good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com or 412-206-WMS0. Thanks to the great Mike Allen for all the show notes and tweets during the show. You can catch him at Mike Allen PR. Guys, it's Mayhem out.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait.